Here we go.
All right, sorry, someone's just coming in as well. So yes, like I am so excited for Eric to share with everyone. So, I think in the post that I shared, it said, a lot. So I've now had my business for 9 years, and I have loved every minute of the business, all the ups, all the downs, all the everything. And I think after the past couple of years, everyone can agree that no one is the same person. We've all been through so much, and we've had to pivot our pivots to pieces. And I've always been searching for a way that felt authentic to work my business, always for 9 years. But I did what I was mentored to do because I saw the opportunity for what it was. And I have absolutely no regrets. I've loved everything that I've done in my business. And when it comes down to it, I think that it's kind of embarrassing to say, but I'm just going to say it in hopes that other people feel that they are, that it's okay for you to feel the same. I've always struggled with having conversations with people. I could do group presentations with my eyes closed, but when it actually came to connecting with people, it never felt, I never felt like I had that skill. And I have done cold messaging, I've done Facebook events, all the things that we pivoted during COVID with. And at the end of the day, I really just feel that connecting with people, and having conversations with what people want, because we focus on 30 days, we focus on 10-day cleanses, we focus on, all the skincare, all the, the business. And it's like, well, why am I trying to put something together when I don't know what's the problem? And so I've been looking for something that I can work my business anywhere, anytime. My purpose and passion with starting my business was to show my kids the world. But when I was focused on doing group presentations and all the other things, I always had to be somewhere. And I really do feel that, with what Louise has been sharing with Healthy Habits and, with Facebook groups that, with community groups, I feel like we're almost there. And I feel like everything that we've done at least what I've done over the past 9 years has led me here. But I feel like at the end of the day, no matter what you're doing in addition to this, whether it's group presentation, I'm not saying anything's wrong. I'm just looking for something that fits well with me. And so, whatever you're doing, one-on-ones, whatever it is, this can complement it. Because at the end of the day, what you're learning are skills on how to talk to people. And isn't that what we all really need to learn to do better, is to have conversations with people, to learn what the problem is, to then be able to fix it, right? And so that was one aspect to it. And the other aspect, like I said, Tamlin, everyone knows who Tamlin is, introduced me to Teamsy, because I was just like, I need the systems to be able to support this, to be able to work my business, because I always felt like I never was able to follow up like I wanted to, and to create the relationships. And we all know that people do business with people that they know, like, and trust, and you wanted to build relationships outside of, what they're buying. But how do you do that? And it just felt all too much and all too overwhelming. I'm just going to use that word because that's how I felt. And I know that if I'm feeling this, other people would feel the same. And so when Tamlin introduced me to Teamsy, I was like, yep, this is great. And, some life happened at the end of last year. I was using Teamsy, and then boot camp came up in January. And I was like, that whole thing of, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. And I was like, I'm in. I'm so in, because I have no problem being consistent. I just need the tools and the system. And so that's where we're at. And I've just finished the boot camp, and I've had a lot of people personal message me, and I'm just going to share with this openly so I can hopefully, cover people's questions. People are saying, well, tell me about your business. Is it booming now? And this is the thing, is I've had my business for 9 years. Most people know that I have an Arbonne business. And so what I'm doing is I'm focusing on building relationships. I'm not going in with join my business and buy products. That's not the focus. My focus is building relationships and letting people know that I care. Right? That is the whole purpose of building relationships, is to let people know that you care. And that is what I'm going in on. I'm here for the long run. I will always have my Arbonne business. I love Arbonne. I love this business. I love this industry. I'm not going in for the kill. I'm going in for, I want to build a relationship with you so that you know that I care about you, and whatever you need, I can help you with eventually. And some people, like I've had massive success with people signing up with products. And because I think people, I think that's easy for people, right? They see products and they go, oh, tell me about this. So I am having preferred client signups, and I've had some business conversations with people. But again, we all know that it takes time for people to jump in. And so that's where I'm at. I'm excited to work my business for the first time in a long time. I'm excited about my power hour. I'm excited to connect with people. I'm excited about where we're going again, where I'm going again. And I think people can feel my passion and my energy. And that's what I'm excited about, is to bring Arbonne back to where it used to be and to help it go to where it should be. Sorry, I know Eric was with a different company, but I love Arbonne. I love our community. I love our culture. And this is why I sent the message to everyone. I'm not getting a kickback from this. I'm not getting anything from this. I just simply want to help everyone learn skills to become better, because as we all know, when we're on fire, everyone feels that. And that's a community fire. That's not an individual fire. And so that's why I just want to share this with everyone, so people can see what it's about, see how you can use the system to support your business and you know, your future business builders. So I'm done talking. I'll pass it along to Eric.
Thank you so much. Her energy, you guys are getting her energy, right? And this all happened. And again, I have a lot to cover, so I don't want to go too deep into the story, but Jen and I had a conversation, gosh, what was it, 2 months ago? And I was like, hey, you know, you've been using Teamsy for a while. Why don't we introduce your team to Teamsy? And she's like, man, I feel like I got to kind of like rebuild my team a little right now. You know, how many of you guys are feeling that a little bit? She's like, yeah, I've been doing this a long time, but I kind of feel like I need a fresh start with my team. I need to get some new people in. And I said, you should check out my boot camp. So anyways, a weekend, she's super excited. She's like, you've got me all fired up. I'm loving this. So she and I started talking. I said, well, the next boot camp, why don't we do, she said that she'd been talking to some of you. I said, well, let's just do a special call for you guys. So that's why I'm here. So you can thank her for me coming to do this special call for you guys. I hope you guys really enjoy the content tonight. Here's what we're going to do is I've got a presentation, a training for you. I always want you guys to leave with tremendous value. My topic tonight is how to build your team to quickly 4x your business without being icky or salesy or wasting money. That sounds good, right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Make sure you have something to take notes. I'm going to teach you my system tonight. Okay, I'm going to teach you my system. And then when we're done with the teach, I'll give you an opportunity to spend 6 weeks through a boot camp to really go deep into the skills. So there's two pieces that we do at Teamsy. One is system, and we're a software platform that makes you be able to do all your income producing activities in less than 1 hour a day. It will streamline your life, save you so much time. You guys will love it. But then there's the skills to work the system, right? So there's the two pieces. All right. So let's go ahead and dive into this. Here's the goal. I want you to be able to learn how to find new customers and team members to quickly and consistently grow your business. I'm going to share 3 secrets that will completely change how you approach this business. You'll feel like you have everything organized and under control, and you'll have more time because you'll know exactly what to do each day. You'll feel great knowing your business is making reliable income, and you'll never have to worry about where leads are coming from. You'll feel more confident having conversations because you're not approaching them in a salesy way. How many of you ever kind of felt like you've done what you're supposed to and you're like, ooh, I hate doing that part, right? If you guys stay to the end, I'm going to send you this really cool PDF you can take and use in your business, share with your teams. It's my 10 proven follow-up scripts that I use to not be annoying when I do follow-ups. Okay, so we'll share that with you guys, a little something extra if you stay to the end. Okay. And some of these slides we can skip through. This is basically for everybody in the business, whether you're new or experienced, you guys. I think we're mostly leaders here though, right, Janet? Yeah. So you guys are all leaders, which is great. Okay. But here's the thing I do want you to know is you may want to share this replay with your teams. If you guys end up being fired up, you may want to take this link and with a couple people on your team and say, let's do this. Here's what we're going to go over: how to generate new customers and team members like clockwork, even if you don't know very many people or just getting started out in the direct selling business, how to effectively build relationships, starting conversations, engaging your prospects, and transitioning to a sale without damaging your friendships. 2 little known Facebook message tricks to follow up and convert. Know when to send it, exactly what to say without being annoying. Okay, very few network marketers even know this stuff, which is probably why Janet was so excited when we started teaching it to her. I love it. Okay, the 3-step system I use to do all my income producing activities in less than an hour a day. We'll teach you that tonight. And how to grow your downline fast, help them succeed, and be the team they want to join. Some important reminders. I suggest you turn off your phone unless you're watching on your phone, then don't turn this off. But otherwise, I just don't want you to be too distracted. Take some notes. You guys will definitely want to apply some of the things that you learned today. Here's my quick intro. Again, my name is Eric Johnson. I help busy network marketers build their businesses. I've been a professional business coach for 21 years, helping business owners build relationship-based businesses. I wrote a book called Power Hour Boss. There's a shameless plug of the cover right there. I'm the founder of Teamzy, which is the top productivity tool in direct selling. And I've trained more than 165,000 direct sellers from just about everywhere, all across the board, you guys, which is pretty cool. Okay, so there's my quick intro. Truth. And I'm sorry if I'm moving quickly. Is it okay, the pace? I got to cover a lot of ground. And I know it's kind of like drinking water from a fire hose, but keep taking sips, come up for air when you can. I'm about to teach you what took over 16 years for me to learn. Okay. And then it was refined through trial and error with thousands of my coaching clients. Given the time, I'm sure that you could all figure it out yourself too. I'm not a genius or anything, right? But I'm just going to make it easy for you and give you the foolproof system as I figured it out. Okay. The warning that I have is that what I'm going to show you will go against what is most commonly taught in direct sales. Okay. It will most likely contradict maybe what you've heard from some of your upline leaders. Okay. And I just want you to know, just so that when the dissonance happens, you're ready for it. Okay. They may even warn you sometimes, don't reinvent the wheel. I think that something that Janet said earlier when she was talking hit me, which was she felt the need to pivot hard this year. Right. So I don't think I have to make the case very strongly today that maybe you guys might want to try a different approach if this isn't your approach. My quick story, here's a shot of my family. I started my business because I wanted time freedom to be with my family. How many of you, that's a big part of it, right? I wanted time freedom to be with my family. I didn't want to have to worry about money or losing my job. And I had just gone through, this was at the end of, I made it all the way to 2010, the last big recession before I was laid off from my job. And that was brutal, emotionally and financially, right? And also when, working as a consultant and coach, it's like a 10-hour a day job. I never saw my family. I was at the office all day. I'd leave in the morning, they were in pajamas. I came home and they were back in pajamas. I felt like I was going to completely miss their growing up, right? If I didn't take action and create something different. So I understand, the allure to this business. And I wanted also, in addition to having some, not worrying about money and being with my family, I wanted to build a life and a legacy. And I'm sure that you guys can relate to that too. My background is as a business consultant. And what I did professionally, and I still do this professionally, is I taught people how to systematically build relationships in their business. See, everybody knows we're supposed to build relationships, right? That's like a no-brainer. It's about doing it systematically, right? So that we generate a consistent stream of new leads and repeat business. The system is the important part because none of us are naturally good at that. I mean, people fall through the cracks. True? How many of you have had people fall through the cracks? So we've got to have a system to this. But having taught this for years, I knew exactly what I had to do in my business to be successful. Just follow the system, right? Just follow the system. And so I started doing that. And, I started, just so you guys know, just so there's no worry about conflict of interest. I do not have a direct sales business. Okay. Teamzy is my business, but I did have a direct sales business when I started Teamzy. And as I started out working my business, working the system that I taught people, I had a lot of growth right at the beginning, right? I had a lot of growth right at the beginning. The challenge was I wasn't doing it the way they wanted me to do it. So I joined my company. I joined my company. There was a national convention 3 days later. I got in the car with my wife and we drove. It was only a 5-hour drive. It was in Las Vegas. We went to this convention and I was like, how many of you guys have been to the national convention? All of you have, right? It's so inspiring and exciting, right? No, you haven't been to one. You guys need to try. That needs to be a non-negotiable, by the way, in your business. Put it as a goal for 2023. I'm just telling you right now, you need to go to that every year. We went to the convention. It was so inspiring, exciting. But as an entrepreneur, I'm going, man, look at all these people building this business. I was already thinking about Teams. I'm like, they're going to love this thing that I've got it rattling around in my head. But I get there. I ranked up quickly. I went up like 3 or 4 ranks the first 2 weeks. And I got to the kind of the minimum rank. I'm not sure exactly what it would be the equivalent in Arbonne, but I got to the minimum rank where corporate, they connect with you. They say, oh, congratulations, you're at a certain rank now. We're going to support you, right? So then now you have a contact over at sales, at corporate that's helping you. And my contact, his name was Joe. And so Joe says, okay, great job, Eric, and becoming a leader in the, in the comp plan. I'm going to put you on a Zoom once a week with 25 other leaders from your region of the country. And we're just going to help you build your business. I said, awesome. This is going to be great because I have no clue what I'm doing. I've been in this 2 weeks. I don't even know what's happening. Right. So we get on this call, you guys, this is so, I just couldn't believe this. They're like, all right, Eric, we're in the middle of a go for no challenge. Have you guys ever done a go for no challenge? Do you know what it is? Okay. So they're like, here's what we're going to do. They wanted me to blast my list with a cold invite script. And they had this mantra, invite, invite, invite. I don't know, maybe this sounds familiar to you guys. Maybe you went through something like this. They wanted me to go for no. And they were super excited about it. And they were getting competitive. I'm going to call 50 people a day. I'm going to call 55 people a day, right? They were getting all into this. And I'm sitting here going, what have I got myself into? Are you serious? No way. No way am I doing this. I wasn't about to trade 15 years of teaching people how to build meaningful relationships for going scorched earth on my friends and family. How many of you have done this and felt like you were scorching earth, right? Or you're just surprised at people that didn't respond. Just surprised at people who didn't respond. Let me just see real quick. Got somebody in the waiting room. Pop them in there. Okay. So this was me. So guess what's kind of funny about this, you guys, is that I won this go for no challenge, but I didn't go for no. I didn't go for no. So let's talk about this. Secret number 1, going for no is not the best way to build a network marketing business. It is not. Does it mean, am I here to tell you that people who did this and were successful didn't do this? Of course they did. They did it and they were successful. Can you be successful doing this? Yes. This is not the best way though, right? This is not the best way. Relationship marketing is, relationship marketing is the best way. We're going to talk about this. If you want to grow a business in the post-COVID world, you need to know about relationship marketing. I almost took out this slide because I was like, you needed to know about it before COVID too. But I think now you guys really need to know about it. Okay. You really need to know about it. The beautiful thing about the way I approach the business, I just want you guys to know, you can do 98% of it online. Okay. So this is what's cool about this. Okay. Here's a fact. Only 3 to 5% of people have the personal fortitude to succeed going for no. And this percentage is observational from my 20 years of coaching people. Very rarely can people do it. And our whole industry, well, first of all, the question is, how do you duplicate that? If only 3 to 5% of the world can do this, how do you duplicate it? It's hard, right? And I think that is kind of the challenge with our network, the network marketing industry is like, you're looking for these special people who can do that. And we're looking for the wrong thing, right? What we need instead is a system that anybody can be successful doing, not that we need a special person to be successful at it. Does that make sense? With relationship marketing, anyone can use it. Anyone can use it, okay? It's super easy to duplicate. All things being equal, people will do business with a friend. All things being unequal, people will still do business with a friend. I love this quote. This is what people want to do. They want to do business with a friend, right? And don't we also? Yeah. People are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend. People are 4 times more likely to buy when referred by a friend. Did you know that 85% of all business, all new business, comes from customer word of mouth? But most of us put all of our efforts into that small slice of pie for the other 15%, right? We're banging, we're on Instagram 10 times a day, getting those hashtags just right, trying to figure out how to get, or whatever. I mean, that's just one example of many things people do. Trying to get new people to notice us, when the truth is 85% of that business is coming from word of mouth. which is huge. I think the number might even be higher than that. 90% of people say they make their purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of a friend or family member. 90%. Okay. So marketing, advertising, slick videos from corporate, all that stuff, it's not as impactful, not nearly as impactful. I mean, that stuff's great. Don't get me wrong, but it's not going to do the job for us. It's going to help us do the relationship thing. That we'll talk about that in a minute. So relationship marketing is the most effective and duplicatable lead generation system. Don't worry, I'm going to actually break down the whole system for you tonight. Okay, so you see what it is. It allows you to consistently provide excellent service. That's something that's important to all of us. It focuses you on systematically building and deepening relationships. The key is that systematically part. Okay, helps you to increase trust and loyalty. And what it results in is a predictable stream of high quality leads for your business, a predictable stream. We can actually forecast. You guys will, we're not going to go into a deep demo of Teamsy tonight, but Teamsy forecasts for you based on your income goal, how much work you need to do. We can forecast. It's predictable. We know where your results will be over a year. This is an important principle. Relationship marketing is leading with love. It's leading with love. I know it sounds like some hippy dippy thing. Here's this guy from California. He's going to sing Kumbaya with us. But you guys, this is a mindset shift. And it really needs to come from the heart. Here's the thing though. It's going to make you guys excited about your business again. Not that you're not, but like, let Janet be our guide. She's excited because it's just reinvigorating to realize, you know what, I can do this a different way. It can be really meaningful. It can almost become like a mission or a ministry, right? Work in the business. What is relationship marketing? Let's get into the nitty gritty. It's a philosophy. First piece, it's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. The relationship, your friend, more important. Okay. And we make sure that people understand that that's really how we feel. It's more important. Direct sales has a bad reputation because for years and years and years, people have been taught to go for it. And people feel like they have a target on their backs. They feel like their friendship has just been leveraged for a $27 commission check, right? At the same time, it's not an abstract feel-good concept, right? Relationships, they feel so warm and fuzzy. This is a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. It's a system. It's a system. That's what makes it so duplicatable. Next important concept, relationships are your duty. They're your duty. I know everyone says relationships are so important, right? You've heard it a million times. I want you guys to take it to the next level. This is the main difference between relationship marketing and the traditional approach to this business. Is that underlying philosophy that developing and deepening relationships is the paramount duty of a business. The paramount duty. So in other words, your focus is on building relationships. How do you build a business? I build relationships. The reason why we do this also, you guys, I'm going to get to this later, but you got to understand that a relationship could be worth tens of thousands of sales, right? You guys know this. So we forget that sometimes. We build those relationships. I like to think of it like this. I'm getting ahead of myself, but it's like an orchard. Does anyone have an orchard? It's like having an orchard. A relationship is one tree in your orchard. You tend the orchard and it bears fruit year after year after year, right? Does that make sense? And you have, this is just kind of like a random thing, but my neighborhood here, like this was a citrus farm, a huge citrus farm 60 years ago. And then they subdivided it into, 1 or 2 acre plots and built homes. And all of us have citrus trees that are like 70 years old in our yards, right? And I have a bunch in my yard. And they're really cool. They're all mangled up and old looking, right? They still produce a ton of fruit. But then there's fields in between where there's no homes and the trees are there and they're just like clinging to life. They look like something from a Halloween special. They don't get water, right? Somehow they're alive. They must have deep roots. Nobody's watering them. There's grass, chest high around the trunks. And you see those trees, there's a difference between a relationship that's tended, right? Just like that. Does that make sense? All right, next piece. Seek to serve first. In relationship marketing, we serve and bring value first. And by investing in relationships, people are much more likely to do business with us and to recommend their friends and family. Really simple, right? Really simple. I used to work with a guy that used to call me Captain Obvious all the time. Great point, Captain Obvious. He thought he was making fun of me, but I thought, man, what a compliment. I'm stating the obvious. It's important. I love this quick graphic, the motivation of helping others versus financial gain. I have great product that I want to tell my friends about because I believe it will make their lives better versus I'm going to tell anyone about this product so I can make a living. What a difference, right? And we're told, just tell everyone. Just tell everyone. And Janet, I'm glad you've been paying attention. I heard a few things come out of your mouth. I'm so proud of you. I'm like, yes. She mentioned, why am I going to tell somebody about something I don't even know what they need yet? Love that. So good. Relationship marketing is not simply selling products to our relationships. That's got it backwards. Okay. We build relationships first and serve your customers in such a way they become walking, talking billboards for your business. I love that. I love that image. I took that from the great Zig Ziglar. Has anyone heard of Zig Ziglar? Yeah, he's awesome. By investing time in providing excellent service, you turn your prospects into advocates. You turn prospects into advocates. We're in the advocate building business, you guys, and along the way, we'll recruit people and bring in customers. But really, we want to build an army of advocates. Okay, don't run over your relationships. The traditional old school approach is to blast your relationships with cold messages and invites, hoping to take advantage of the existing relationship to get a sale. This destroys trust, it damages relationships, and it leaves you feeling icky, right? And that's a technical business term, icky. Leaves you feeling icky. So here's just kind of a quick comparison, the going for no versus the relationship marketing approach. Going for no, in my opinion, involves constant soul-crushing rejection. Does anyone hate rejection like me? I hate being rejected. Can I handle it? Yeah, I can take it. I just don't want to. Does that make sense? I don't like conflict. I don't like rejection. Whereas relationship marketing, little to no rejection, little to no rejection. All right, so when you go for no, it comes across completely self-centered. It's all about you, what you need. It damages those personal relationships. People stop answering their messages, don't they? Drains your energy, and gives the industry a bad reputation. You also waste a lot of time on leads that go nowhere. How many of you have tried the old tactic of, hey, would you watch this video and give me your honest opinion on it? Remember that one, guys? No offense, I did it too. I tried it. When do you think you'll watch it? On Tuesday? Okay, great. I'll call you Tuesday night. And it's like you're following up this person. They're like, I do not want to watch this stupid video, but they're polite. Yeah, okay, I'll watch the video. Yeah, maybe Tuesday. And it's like Tuesday, they're nowhere to be found. Why? You're wasting time on a lead that's going nowhere. They're not interested in this right now, right? As opposed to relationship marketing where your focus is on helping others. That feels good. You're building and deepening relationships instead of damaging them. It's enjoyable. You're not going to ever feel icky. You're going to get very few rejections, right? And it builds your reputation now as a trusted advisor. Totally different. Build your reputation as a trusted advisor. And then you're going to save time because you're working with people who already trust you. It's awesome. Okay, so real quick on this, creating advocates is the same. When you create advocates, you generate introductions. And we're going to talk about this a little bit tonight too, but as you invest in relationships, they're more likely to introduce you to friends and family, right? As you invest in those relationships, the people that they introduce will already trust you because their friend does. It is magical. It is magical. And who would you rather work with? A cold lead, often low quality, they're skeptical and don't trust you. You waste a lot of time on leads that go nowhere, or an introduced lead, someone who already trusts you. They're easier to close. I actually wish that said easier to help, right? And they're way more loyal. And they're more likely to introduce you to their friends, which is kind of this beautiful chain of introductions. Okay, keep going. So that first secret was the go for no system. That cold messaging system we've all been taught, not the best way to do this. Relationship marketing, you're going to get much better results. Secret number 2 is that applying the relationship marketing system results in massive momentum, even in a short time. The miss kind of, I'm not finding the word that I want, but the misconception about building relationships is it just takes time. It just takes time. And I want you guys to know that, yeah, sometimes it does take time to build a relationship. But relationship marketing is something that you're doing with a large group of people. You will create results quickly, okay? And you can create momentum quickly. So I don't want you to think like, oh, it just takes time. It will take time with a lot of people, and with other people, it won't. Does that make sense? It's like going back to my orchard. It's like some of those trees have fruit ready. Some don't. They need water and fertilizer and love and sunshine right now. But there's going to be some with fruit. Okay. I'm just going to tell you a quick story. This is a picture of my shoffice, which was my lawnmower shed in the backyard that I had no room for an office. So I got this shed and I had it put in my backyard. Okay. And you can see I spared no expense on it. I set it on some bricks, right? Until it was mostly level and went with it. Drilled a hole in the wall, ran an extension cord in, set up my computer, and I was off to work. This is where I started my direct sales business, and also where I started working on a concept called Teamsy in my shed, the shed quarters. So if you guys notice in that, you know, these pictures are from different stages. I finally drywalled the inside of it, so it looked like I was in a room when I was doing Zooms. In the beginning, I just had that. If you can see the picture on the left, I just had a green curtain that I would let fall behind me, so it was like green screen, so nobody knew I was in a shed. And I don't know why I was embarrassed about that, but sometimes we are, right? That kind of stuff. But I had these huge whiteboards that I put in there where I was working my system, writing the names down, who I was messaging, who I was working with. And so I started out on the whiteboard. And my results were pretty good, but I knew I needed a great CRM system. Have you guys ever heard the term CRM? It means contact relationship manager. It's just a type of software that salespeople use to keep track of all their relationships. I knew I needed a great system. But there really wasn't anything built for our industry. And the CRM software platforms that are used by large corporations are super clunky and complicated and very expensive, right? So I started building Teamsy on the side. I was really excited to have it myself. And so this story I'm going to tell you was when Teamsy was ready for me. It was about 2 months before we let anybody else test it. So my guys who were building it, they said, Eric, we've got it pretty much ready. We've put your Facebook friends into your Teamsy account. It's ready for you to test. I was so excited. You guys have no idea. I just couldn't wait because I knew how powerful this was going to be. So I went into my first Teamsy power hour. I went into the shed. It was 4:30 in the morning, freezing cold. Freezing cold is relative, but I know you guys have you have basically the same weather I do. So you know what I'm talking about. Freezing cold for us. I went out and I started messaging people. And in that first hour, I messaged 43 people. Okay. And which by the way, was a lot to do it all at once. And when you guys use Teams, I'll recommend that you just do a few, you know, like a dozen to 20 every day, not this many one day. But here's what happened. I just want you guys to understand what happened that very first power hour. I sent 43 connect messages. That's just a message to make somebody's day. It's not salesy. I don't even mention the business. The response rate was 100%. By the end of that month, this was November, which was in our business was the slowest month because I was selling fitness and everybody likes to eat and go crazy in November here, right? So, but by the end of that month, 1/3 of those 43 had closed. I had 9 new team members and 5 new customers, and it resulted in a personal note, which I'm showing you in that photo, and national recognition from the CEO of our network. This was a big deal because I was not a leader that anyone had ever heard of, right? Does this make sense? I wasn't like, oh, Eric Johnson does it again. You know how you hear like the leaderboards and you're like, oh, so-and-so, she's so awesome. She's always the top leaderboard. That wasn't me. When he said my name, he was like, Eric Johnson? Okay, great. Eric Johnson, whoever that is, he had a great month. This was my proof of concept, but here's what I want you guys to know. How many of you would like a result like that in 1 month? So I'm not saying that you're going to get that result. I'm saying I did it, so maybe you can. Does this make sense? it was about the intention and the momentum, creating the momentum. And at this point, I'd already been working the business 6 or 7 months. This was just about, okay, let's go for it. Let's do this. Let's follow a system. So here's the 3 pillars of relationship marketing. I'm going to go through these as quick as I can. And I've simplified this down so you guys could get the 40,000-foot view of what the system is. The first is start conversations daily. Start conversations daily. Okay. The second pillar is share when appropriate. Okay. Share when appropriate. And the third is follow up like a pro. Follow up like a pro. Okay. So let's dig into this a little bit. I'm going to kind of give you guys an idea of how you would structure this. Let's start with start conversations daily. Keep in mind that cold invites often end conversations, right? And often they end their friendships too. Have you guys ever seen that movie, the Groundhog Day? You ever seen that movie, Groundhog Day? I love that movie. In my book, I write about this. Do you remember in Groundhog Day, every day he would, the day repeats, every day that insurance salesman would try to sell him life insurance? Do you guys remember that character? And it was like, he did all these crazy things to this insurance guy once he realized the day was going to repeat. And then, because just to get rid of him. And I feel like that's the way people feel when we're like, hey, I got something for you. Okay. Instead of cold invites, I want you to get into the make someone's day mindset. The make someone's day mindset. Write that down. Make someone's day mindset. I've had people call them MSDs. I'm like, they're dropping MSD every day, dropping MSD, make someone's day mindset. What we're going to do when we message somebody is we just want to make their day. That's it. Okay. The reason we make people's day is because it's easy for them to respond to that. So also it feels great. Oh my gosh, because everyone's excited to hear from you. You guys, you're going to have so much fun doing this. So here's the exact message I sent to those 43 people. I'm all for using the same message over and over and over and changing the name. So here was my message. Hi, Jay, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? I hope your day's awesome. It was so simple, you guys. And this is one of the scripts, many scripts that is in Teamsy today that people use. And they're like, I can't believe this works. It's very easy to respond to this. Does it make sense? And I wasn't sending it to 43 random people who I have no idea how we became Facebook friends. These were my favorite 43 people because I prioritized my list. So every one of them responded. Oh my gosh, Eric, great to hear from you. A simple make someone's day message is easy for them to reply to. And when they've done that, now you're in a conversation. So the first pillar, starting conversations daily, you've done it. Now, here's the thing. I just want you guys really think about this for a second. People say, Eric, I'm doing it. Like I had 10 conversations yesterday. I just didn't get into Teamsy and log them. And it's like, you know what? You might have 10 conversations through the course of your day. That does not count. I mean, it counts. It's important, but I'm talking about intentionally starting new conversations on purpose. I'm going to start 10 new conversations today. You don't get to go at the end of the day and go, well, I talked to somebody at the grocery store. Like those weren't intentional. Those were accidental. Those are the gravy, right? You need to sit down and be able to do this intentionally. Just want you guys to get that piece. Okay. So what I want you to do is set a daily goal to send connect messages to 3 groups: prospects, customers, and distributors. Okay. I know I genericized it. I didn't give you guys the Audubon terms there, but you know what I mean. A lot of people get confused by the term prospect. Here's how I define it. If they're not on your team and they're not a customer, they're a prospect. Right? If they're a human being and they don't fit those other 2 categories, they're a prospect. Okay. So they're your best friends, your family, your everybody, they're prospects. Okay. All right. And what we want to do with that goal is you want to be consistent with it. So an example would be, I'm going to message 10 prospects, 6 customers, and 4 people on my team today. Okay. And that sample number was actually my daily goal. Okay. So if you're using the Teamsy system, 10, 6, and 4 is $150,000 a year goal. Okay. Consistently hitting 10, 6, and 4 will bring you to that income in a year. Okay. By the way, 10, 6, and 4 messaging 19 messages, or is that 20 messages? That's 30 minutes tops of your day. Okay. Pretty cool, right? By the way, 43 a day is way too high. That's what I did. I did it once. I'll just be honest with you guys. When 43 people replied on the same day, I wasn't able to go in the next day and message new people. I was just, my phone was on fire. And some of you are nodding. You're like, yeah, I get that. So you want to do a daily activity that is sustainable, because you're going to continue these chats past day one. So I message you on Monday. We might be back and forth on chat for the next 6 days while I'm messaging new people. Does that make sense? Okay. Pillar number 2, share when appropriate. Share when appropriate. So real quick, let me just define share for you. Share is when you share the business opportunity with somebody, or you share a product solution with somebody. That's it. You were waiting for me to give you more. That was it. So a lot of people are like, well, I shared that I'm having a party on Tuesday, or I shared that we're going to have an event, or I shared that I'm doing Arbonne. Nice. You use the word share, but that's not what I'm defining as a share. Just so you guys understand what we're talking about. It's when you sit down with somebody, virtually or in person, and you go over the business opportunity, or you talk to them about a product solution for a need that they have. That's a share. We need to know what that is so we can track it in our business. It's an important action. So going from that, hello, how are you? Hope your day is awesome, to the share is what we're going to talk about here for a second. Because you don't lead with the share. It's like walking into a bar and seeing somebody that you think is attractive and saying, getting down on knee and saying, marry me, right? It's like, who are you, weirdo? No, you don't start that way. You start with, hello, how are you? You start a conversation, right? You have to build that relationship and see if it's a match. It's the same thing with our business. So have a great conversation. They respond to that hello message. Great. Now we want to get their update and ask questions. Now, I'm simplifying this. In bootcamp, we spend a whole week on the nitty-gritties of the conversation, but I want you guys to know, like, just get their update. What does that mean? Like, what have they been doing? What have they been up to? You know how you bump into somebody in person? The first thing you do is like, what have you been? Oh my gosh, it's been 5 years. What are you doing these days? What are you up to? And they tell you, right? We, changed jobs. We've had another baby. We've got this going on. They'll tell you bits and pieces of their life. So get people's update, ask them some questions, be really interested. It's a great way to build that conversation with them. Does that make sense? So it's really not rocket science, but as you're talking to people, you need to listen. You need to listen. I once had this great training, gosh, when I was in my early 20s, trying to learn this stuff. And the ATM machines that we get cash out of? Yeah. This guy that was teaching me, he said, human beings are ATMs, automatic telling machines. We want to tell our story, and we can't wait for the other person to finish so we can tell ours. Right?
Yes.
This is a discipline. For you guys, the discipline is, even if it's a really good story, oh my gosh, is to try to hold it back and listen. Okay? You'll still get to tell it, but hold it back and listen. Let it be about them more than it's about you. Okay. And what we want to do while we're listening is we're going to identify wants and needs. What's going on with this person? Okay. What's going on? What do they need? Do you guys have a product for everything? Right. So if you have a conversation long enough, you'll be like, oh, you should try this product. That's great. That's a specific example. Maybe there's other stuff going on. Maybe they just feel like withered because they haven't been out, because of all we've been through. They just feel like they need to connect with people. Maybe they just need to be cheered up today. Maybe they've got it's pouring rain on Janet. Maybe the roof is leaking. They need a roofer, and a good one, right? Do you guys say roofer or roofer? How do you say it? It's okay. That varies here in the States, depending on where you're from. Okay, so we're listening for wants and needs. And by the way, just one quick tip on this. Again, like I said, in the bootcamp, we go deeper in this, but I love sarcastic people because they're telling you exactly what they need. Like if you guys have an ear for sarcasm and jokes, self-deprecating humor, like you'll know exactly what people need. So listen for that stuff and, have a laugh with them, but then be serious. Be like, okay, oh my gosh, you're so funny. But in all seriousness, what I hear you saying is that maybe you need help in this area. Does this make sense, guys? Okay, so listen for wants and needs. And then in the conversation, you're going to also share your update, what you're doing, what's going on in your life. This is your chance to bring the business into the conversation in a very organic non-threatening, non-salesy, non-icky way, right? So here's what I'm up to. Here's where we've moved to. Here's what's going on with my kids. My dog is a nut too. This is what he's doing. Okay, great. Oh, and did I tell you I had started a new business? And tell them what you do, meaning Arbonne, and why you're so passionate about it. Okay. What you do and why you're passionate about it. If you guys are taking notes, write down what I do and why I'm passionate about it. This is how you bring the business up. When you tell somebody what you're doing and why you're passionate about it, they will almost always be excited for you. Oh, good on you. That's great. Does this make sense? And I don't know if you guys heard me say it's Arbonne instead of saying like, I help activate the inner souls of women to empower their intellects to like, don't do all that weird stuff, you guys, for real. Okay, that could be your mission statement. People don't walk around sharing their mission statement, right? If I was, if I built tractors, my mission statement is to improve the agricultural community. I don't walk around and say, what do you do for a living? You say, I make tractors. Okay, so tell people what you do. You work with Arbonne. Why do you love it? Tell them that's part of your story. Like, why are you so passionate about it? Okay, let them know what you do. Does that make sense? I love it when people do that stuff. I mean, it cracks me up because like I think about like, what if you just had a different occupation? Like, let's say you were an electrician. Would you say you solve electrical, you help focus electrical fields for your abode and business? No, you'd be like, if you have an electrical problem, I fix it, right? So you guys just be upfront. This is the best thing about this system is you just get to be authentic. You don't have to fluff things up, right? People want your help. They just want you to get to it. Okay. So share what you do and why you're passionate about it. People will be great. People will usually be excited for you. It's non-threatening to them. They're excited for you. And this makes it easy to share. Yeah, if you'd like to learn more about it, let me know. Okay. If you'd like to learn more about it, let me know. I'd be happy to get you some more info. A lot of times, people go, okay, I'll keep that in mind. Or they might say, yeah, actually, I'm intrigued. Tell me more. Okay. And when you get that opportunity to share and talk to them more, invite them into a solution for their problem. Okay. Invite them into a solution for their problem. When you guys go to how many of you have been to visited a doctor or a clinic or anything in the past year or so? Anybody? Like when you go in, because you're not feeling well or you've got an issue, usually you talk to, at least here, you talk to a nurse first, right? Doctor's busy. So you're talking to one of the nurses and they sit down and they ask you a bunch of questions. They're trying to figure out the nature of your visit, right? And then when you do see the doctor, he or she now has the notes from the nurse and they can shortcut the conversation by having all those observations, right? And they may ask you a few more questions before they determine what they think is wrong and give you a solution for it. Now, imagine this. Imagine if you walked into the doctor's office and the nurse said, do you have your smartphone? Okay, great. I'm going to send you a link to our website. And on the website are all the pharmaceuticals that we sell. Just browse through, go ahead and browse through and see if you'd like anything. If you have any questions about anything, let me know. I'll be happy to check in with you and see if you can find anything you like and I'll help you place your order. Can you imagine? That's how a lot of us do our business though, isn't it? Yeah, here's my website. Check it out. See if you like any of the products. That's crazy. No, they take the time to find out what you need and they tell you what you need. And there's no question you're buying it, right? Does this make sense? So it's called prescriptive selling. And this is how you really help people. You take the time to find out what they need and you help them with it. Okay. I need to speed this up. I'm getting behind. Let's keep going. So let's say you're sharing your daily goal for share should be at least one a day. Okay. To 3. 3 is aggressive. Don't set it higher than 3 unless you are some sort of a I don't know what, special human being. 3 a day is a lot of shares. Okay. If you're going for more than 3 a day, you're probably not sharing with people solutions that they need. You're just sharing, you're forcing it like we've done in the past. Does that make sense? But we want to make sharing an important part of what we do. So if you can do it once a day, 5 days a week, your business is going to be singing. After you share, you want to put that person on your follow-up list. Now we're going to follow up like a pro because now they've moved from just my friend who I'm checking in on, how's life going, to this person has now said they want my help through my business. Now I've got to change hats, put on my professional hat. Make sense? Now they're going on my follow-ups list. If they're not ready for a share when you're connecting with people and having chats with them, that's okay. You're going to connect again at a later date. And this Teamsy does this for you automatically. It just cycles them. So maybe every 30, 60, 90, 120 days, depending on how close a person they are to you, they'll cycle back. So you just connect again. Okay. How are things? How have things been the last 3 months? Give me your update again. Let's keep staying in touch, and you get closer and closer and closer until you're ready to share with them. Make sure you're tracking shares and follow-ups. I'll share my favorite system in a bit. By the way, hint, there's a big pink light behind me. That's what we're going to talk about, Teamsy. Okay, we built this for you guys. So an example of a typical day working the system might look like this. 10 connects to prospects, 6 connects to your customers, 4 connects to your team members. So that's sending out 20 connect messages, maybe 30 minutes of time. Okay. And then if your goal, for example, was 2 shares, then 2 out of those 20 conversations might be a share. And those are added to your follow-up list. Okay. So by Friday, if you were doing that, for example, you'd have 10 people on your follow-up list who you now have shared with. This is like your pipeline of really strong leads. You're going to be now following up with those people, moving them toward a recruitment to the team or a sale as a customer. Make sense? It's a system. So you're investing in people, but you're doing it systematically so that you can see those results and that fruit come along. Okay. Pillar number 3, follow up like a pro. Let's keep moving. Keep moving. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Most people are like, I don't like that. That sucks. It's the truth though. 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. So let me just kind of frame this for you guys. I'm talking to Janet. Janet's going to be my guinea pig. I'm talking to Janet. She's like, oh gosh, Eric, this is great. I love this opportunity. This is awesome. And I'm so excited. She's like, yeah, this is going to be great. I can't wait to build this business. And then I'm like, okay, great. She's like, I'm going to sign up tonight. I promise. Okay, great. And I get on my team call and I'm talking to you guys, pretending you're my team. You guys, I met this woman, Janet. She's amazing. She's going to be so great on our team. I can't wait. She's signing up tonight. They're like, oh, good job, Eric. This is great. And then I go in tomorrow morning and I'm like, let me just make sure she signed up. She didn't sign up. Has this ever happened to you guys?
Mm.
So you send her a little message. Okay, great. She doesn't respond. Send her another message. She doesn't respond. Now, about 20% of people, by the 2nd or 3rd message, they're in, they're signed up, they're good to go. The rest of people, normal people, you keep following up, nothing. 3 follow-ups, nothing. 4 follow-ups, nothing. Crickets. Do you guys say crickets? Yeah, I love stuff like those. Yeah, crickets, nothing but crickets. Okay, has this happened to you? Yeah, it's normal.
Yeah.
It's totally normal. So you guys just need to understand, we've got to be prepared to follow up 10 times every time we share with somebody or more. Okay. We're going to talk a little bit about this, but I just want you guys, we're going to talk about, well, I just want to talk about this. How many of you though, when I say you got to follow up 10 times are thinking, people are going to hate me. They're going to think I'm so annoying. I'm going to be a nag. I thought this was the training where I don't have to be an icky sales. How many of you seriously are like a little concerned about following up 10 times? So I just want to reframe your thinking on this a little bit. So let me just ask you a couple questions. Do you believe in your product? Like, do you truly believe it's awesome? It's going to change people's lives. They need these products. Okay. That's important. Okay. Do you believe in your business opportunity? Do you believe this is transformative? How about right now? I mean, I don't know how you guys are doing, but our economy sucks right now, right? We need money. Oh, everyone needs more money. I don't know if you guys are feeling that. Do you think people would benefit from your opportunity right now? Like, do you believe it? Super important. Are you truly here to help people? How many of you really have a passion to help people? You really want to help people. It's good. If you weren't those people, you would have signed out of this webinar already. You would have been like, oh, this mushy, warm and fuzzy stuff is not going to fly. I'm out of here. If you believe in your product, if you believe in your opportunity, if you're here to truly help people, I want to reframe the way you think about following up. Okay. This is important. Shift that mindset, because following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. If you really believe your product and your opportunity are going to transform somebody's life, and they don't have it yet. How can you help them? What do you have at your disposal to help this person? Your follow-up. That's it, your follow-up. Janet said, in my example, she was excited. She wanted to do this. She saw the opportunity. She wants me to help her with it. Now she's not responding to my messages. Should I forget her? Or do I honor the friendship and the promise I made and continue to follow up with her? Let her know I actually care. See, you guys, sometimes we stop following up when we're not getting a response because we're worried we're going to be annoying. But the message we really sent was, I really don't care about you. And that sounds kind of harsh, but that's the message received. How many of you have been disappointed when somebody failed to follow up enough? And you thought that exact thing? I guess they didn't really care, right? I made them work too hard. So we want to stay in there. Now, here's what's going to happen. Oh, first of all, let me just teach you guys these principles, how to follow up without being annoying. Are you guys ready? I'm going to teach them to you. I promised at the beginning, we'll teach you these 2 principles, how to follow up without being annoying. Super simple. You guys, honestly, you do this and it works. All right, here we go. Number 1, never ask them to do anything in the follow-up message. Never ask them to do anything. Don't give them any work. Okay. The all-time worst voicemail ever is call me. Why? Why are you sending me a voicemail, first of all? Right? Do you remember how much we loved getting a phone call like 30 years ago? Some of you aren't old enough for that, but 30 years ago, we loved getting a phone call. Now it's like, why is my phone ringing? Who are you? Why couldn't you have texted me this question? So don't ask them to do anything. Okay, don't ask them to do anything. If you're trying to get them to an event, you're trying to get them to RSVP, you want them to finish their purchase, whatever, don't ask them to do that though in this message. Okay, they know what you want them to do. You've already done the call to action. Okay, but when you give homework in the message, it's immediately annoying because it's like, okay, here's an example. Do we have any moms with a teenager? Okay, we've got a couple. Does your teenager or possibly someone else, a nephew, a grandson, anybody, does he play video? Do you have a video gamer? Do you guys have a video gamer or somebody who plays with their phone or does an app or something on their phone? Like, ask a teenager in the middle of a video game to run into the other room and get you something, right? Like, could you run and get my purse from the other room for me real quick? Like, dude, I'm in the middle of a game right now, right? They're just not going to do anything for you. Like, I think I have a 13-year-old boy. We don't let him play video games that much, but when he's in it, he's in it. Like, if the house was burning down, he'd be like, about how much time do I have before the smoke gets to me? Because I have 3 minutes left, right? On this level. That's what it's like. It's like they don't want to stop what they're doing in their life to do something for you. It's annoying. Even if it's a small ask, so don't ask them to do anything. Number 2, keep your follow-up short, sweet, and written. Short, sweet, and written. So they can read the whole thing without opening it. Right? You guys know when you get the message on your smartphone, you look at the screen and you can see the whole message. It's like, okay, I got the message. I don't have to open it. Now, why do they not want to open it? Because they don't want that read receipt sent to you. They don't want to feel like a jerk for not responding. And you guys do it too. We're trying to make this easy on them. Does that make sense? We want nothing but positive vibes associated with you. So it's a quick message and people, so if you write a long message and you see the ... it's like, I'll never know what this says because I'm not opening it right now. Right? I'm busy or my hands are busy or I'm driving, whatever. If you send a voice message, it's the same thing. How many of you guys have any small kids? You guys have small kids? You ever try to open a voice message when your kids are around? It's like quiet, and as soon as you start to play it, it's like their radar turns on and they start being incredibly loud and running around and climbing on you. It's like they know. So what happens? How many of you guys would say that your target market have kids? So everyone with kids, this is universal. They're not going to listen to those voice messages until they think it's a quiet, safe time to do it, which will be typically like bedtime, and they'll forget to look at them. So a lot of your voice messages will go unheard, and they're annoying because they know they can't listen to it now. Does that make sense? So short, sweet, and written so they can read the whole thing without opening it. If you guys do those 2 things, you won't be annoying. You won't be annoying. Okay, so here's what's going to happen. Most people won't respond to those first 5 follow-ups. It's just normal. They're busy. Their life's happening. They're not jerks. They're not broke. They don't hate Arbonne. They're just busy, right? Okay. They will typically thank you after the 6th or 7th. Thank you so much for staying in touch. I really appreciate it. Because they know they've been annoying by not answering. Does this make sense? And they'll often, when they thank you, they'll explain why they didn't. They'll give you all the excuses they gave themselves, right? But they know that it was great of you to keep following up, even though they weren't responding. Does this make sense? And when this happens, you guys, this is like the cycle, the relationship cycle. It's like, okay, it's like they have to get used to the idea. There's a whole psychology. And again, in the boot camp, I go deeper into the psychology, but it's like, boom, oh, Arbonne, this is awesome. And then it's like everything in their subconscious is telling them, don't do this. It's different. It's scary. Is this one of those pyramid things? Like, what is it? I don't want to do it. So they're like, their subconscious is working against it. They need this time to sit with it, right? Some people do. So now they've followed up. You've proven who you are. Now they're interested to talk about it again, this time without all of that baggage working against you. Does this make sense? So it's just like, it works so great. Okay. Keep them on that follow-ups list until they convert or say no. Okay. And then even if they say no, you don't throw them out. We still keep connecting with them. Just make someone stay messages. Okay. So if they say no, not interested, great. We move them back to our prospect list, off our follow-ups list, and we still keep building that relationship. Okay. You need to have a system that will make sure no follow-ups ever fall through the cracks. That's where we're going with Teamsy. We'll show you guys that in a little bit. But what I'm teaching you guys tonight, like, honestly, you can take these principles and try to craft it all yourself. Okay. I want you to know that you could do that. All right. But if you guys are working on a pad of paper, you're going to drop people through the cracks. It's just the way it is. It's like drinking water with your hands. There's nothing you can do. There's only so much you can do. Secret number 3. I honestly almost cut secret number 3 out of the presentation tonight because I was afraid it would get too long. Do you guys think we should go through secret number 3? Should I get right to boot camp? Should we do secret number 3? Are you down to keep going with me? Okay, let's do it. Secret number 3. The best and easiest way to find new people is through introductions. How many of you guys have ever heard the term referrals? Right? We want people to refer to our business. I don't like the word referral. I like introduction. One is passive, one is active. One is waiting for a miracle, and one is making things happen in your business. Does that make sense? So I just want you guys to know, as I'm talking about referred business, I'm going to be talking about introductions. Okay. Remember this, 85% of new business comes from customer word of mouth. Okay, great. So we know that's the stat. For a lot of the people I work with, just so you guys know, that number is 100%. Okay, so in my consulting business, which I didn't give up, I just went part-time on when I came into this business. I've got clients 11, 12 years, 100% of their business is by introduction. Do you know how much fun it is to run a business that way? Right? Every person that comes to you is like, yeah, I heard you're awesome. I can't wait to work with you. Great, let's get to work. It's the best. Okay. 90% of this is actually North Americans, but I don't think you guys are that different. Say they seek recommendations from friends and family when considering a purchase. You guys know that's true. You guys do it. And we talked about this in the beginning. When someone introduces their friend to you, that friend already trusts you. You can get right to helping them. Right? You get right to helping them. Kind of like tonight with you guys. I mean, Janet bringing you guys to this call, I already feel like you guys are here like, yeah, just tell me what you got. Let's do it. It's great. There's 2 groups of people who introduce new customers to you. One are your advocates. These are the relationships in your life that you've been building trust with. Okay. Just so you guys know, an advocate may not be interested in Arbonne, but they may just love you and they want to support you and they think what you're doing is amazing. Does that make sense? Number 2 are your customers. Okay, your customers. So let's talk about this. Here's an example. I want you guys always planting seeds. Here's an example of planting seeds. Could you do me a favor if you come across anyone you care about that might need help with, whatever it is you help them with, I want you guys to be able to create a phrase that fits you and your passion right here for what you help people with. Okay? Would you connect them with me so I can send them some information? Something simple like this. Okay. So when I did my business years ago, I did Beachbody. My focus was on weight loss, right? Because I had lost 60 pounds. And so I said, if you come across anyone that might need help with losing weight, would you connect them with me? Right. So it was specific. So think of something like that. And you may have, I want you guys to know, you may have several different things you help people with, and you'll customize this breadcrumb depending on the person you're talking to in context. Does that make sense? Okay. So planting seeds. We want people thinking about introducing you. Does that make sense? All right. So remember, don't get referred, get introduced. Get introduced. The hottest source of a new lead is your current customer. Why is this? Because current customers are already using your products and love them. They already trust you, right? And if you're doing it right, doing it the way I'm teaching you, they actually love you too, right? So people that are taking products, using products that they love, they're talking about them to their friends and family. This is how human beings are wired. Would you guys agree? They're talking about it. They're sharing it. People share. People share. So think about this, right? If 90% of people make those purchasing decisions based on the recommendation of friend or family, and your customers are talking to their friends and family about Arbonne, that means you have customers, your customers have people who are ready to buy right now. Okay. The problem is most of these customers, you haven't trained them to introduce people to you. And so they're talking about Arbonne. How many of those friends and family do you think just went online and found someone who sells Arbonne instead of coming to you? Make sense? We need to make sure that we're getting introduced to these people. You need to get introduced to them. Okay. And again, we did a whole week on this too in boot camp, didn't we, Janet? Yeah, this is a big one. This is a big one. But here's an example. I know you've really been enjoying the products. You can't say the products, so you be specific. Can you think of anyone you care about that might be interested in learning more about this? Okay, so you're getting them thinking about somebody. Great. Would you mind quickly introducing them to me so I can get them some information? You got to ask for this, right? And you guys, you're going to ask them to introduce you right then on a group text or a group chat. Okay, like pick it up. Can you introduce? Great. Would you introduce me right now? Could you open up a group chat on Facebook or text or whatever's easiest, and I'll get them some info. So action steps on getting intros. First, you got to be in consistent contact with your advocates and customers, which is why you need Teamsy. We'll talk about that in a minute, but Teamsy keeps you in contact with everybody. So you're always connecting and planting seeds. You want to ask them to introduce you, okay? And then you're going to follow up like a pro on those new leads that they introduce you to. And you're also going to follow up with the person who introduced their friends and give them updates on their friends. Okay. The reason is when people introduce you to friends and family, you want to reinforce and encourage that behavior. So by giving them updates, oh my gosh, talk to your friends. They're amazing. Thank you for introducing me. I'm excited to work with them. They're doing great. Like, let them know, first of all, that you're handling it with professionalism, taking care of those people, and it's going to reinforce that, and they'll do it again. Okay. So real quick, going through the whole thing really quickly, and then I'm going to talk to you about our boot camp. Relationship marketing system review, leading with love. The first step is you need to have an organized and prioritized list in a CRM software, right? Which is what Teamsy is. If you guys are trying to run this business off a spreadsheet or pads of paper and notebooks, you really are. You can be successful, but it is like drinking water with your hands. You're spilling more than you drink. People are falling through the cracks. And then I want you, once you've got that set up, we want to set our daily targets for connecting with prospects, customers, and team members, building and deepening relationships as we go. We're going to share where appropriate, and then follow up on shares like a pro. Okay. And then we're going to focus on getting introductions, not referrals. Okay. Simple. That's the system from a 40,000 foot view. Oh, and also you need to track it all so nobody falls through the cracks. Super important. Super important. Track it all so nobody falls through the cracks. Okay. So a review of a typical power hour. You would do this once a day, 30 to 45 minutes. Maybe connecting with 10 prospects, 6 customers, 4 connects to team members. By connects, I just mean a simple make someone stay message, just to clarify. That's all I mean by that. If your goal was to share twice, then you'll be doing a couple shares. By Friday, you'll have your, what did I say? We'd have 10 follow-ups the first week. So every day you'll have 15 to 20 follow-up messages to send. Another 30 minutes, you're done with your power hour. Okay. Make sense? Now, the beautiful thing about Teamsy is it does all this automatically. It sets up your power hour every single day. It tells you exactly who to message today, what to send. It tracks it, it logs it, it cycles them through for you automatically, which is really cool. So another thing about this with building a team this way is that when you lead with heart, your team will follow. You'll attract trustworthy, caring people to your team. You'll never have to ask your team to do something you don't believe in yourself. That was big for me, just so you guys know. Like, I was like, well, they say we should go for no. You guys want to do that? You know, right? All right, past hour. Would you guys agree this has been time well spent? Has it been fruitful? Yeah, good. I hope I brought a ton of value for you. And as you can imagine, I can't cover everything you need in an hour, not even if we had all day together. This is a great testimonial from my friend Suzanne. She says, Eric Johnson, you and your company are spot on. I cannot thank you enough. 3 years, a six-figure earner and a team of over 3,000 now, and still was struggling with crazy written lists, a tried and failed index card system, and no Excel skills. Has anyone tried the index card system on this call? Seriously, Teamsy has been the answer I've needed. Hallelujah. I could sing your praises all day. Our personal business is our #1 priority, and you've helped me to finally have a productive power hour. Thank you. Whenever I read a testimonial, you guys will hear me say, this is my friend so-and-so. I want you to know it's not because I'm paying my friends for testimonials. It's just that we become friends after a while when you guys use Teamsy. That just kind of happens. Okay, so you got some options. #1, you follow the old school approach, cold inviting, going for no, risking rejections, damaged relationships, and burnout. Nobody wants that one, right? Option 2, go it alone, which is what I did. Spend hundreds of hours trying to recreate your own systems to apply what I've taught you today. Some of you guys are like, I think I could do this based on what he told me. That's great. Option 3, learn a proven system, leverage ready-made tools for creating a steady stream of new customers and recruits, and learn from somebody who's not only done it, but mastered it, and do it without feeling like an icky salesperson or being rejected. All right. So you guys ready? I'm going to show you boot camp. Are you in? Okay. The boot camp suite. It's a complete video tutorial program, which includes the Teamsy CRM system for consistently generating leads and getting more customers. I shouldn't say includes. You've got to use Teamsy to do boot camp, right? And there's no way to do it without it. Okay. So what it is, it's a 6-week step-by-step action plan. And what we're going to help you learn how to do is how to keep your sales consistent by always having leads coming through your funnel. Build relationships by staying connected and knowing what to say and when to say it. Follow up without being annoying, and will help you overcome objections. And build your team into a powerhouse, even if you don't have a lot of time. This includes 20 training videos, clear action plans, and workbooks. Okay. And the way this works is in boot camp, which is 6 weeks, you'll have a new training video that unlocks every Monday and every Wednesday. Okay. And you'll be able to go in to your portal, which is inside your Teamsy account, and watch the training. You'll have a downloadable workbook. You take your notes in it, right? And the reason we space them out like that is because we're going to say, here's the training. Now go do it. Your action step today is to do it with prospects. Try this, right? So each week we layer on the skills that you need to work this system. Okay. And the guys put 680 on the bottom, just to give you an idea. Just the courses alone, if we sold those, they would, based on what we've charged for other courses of similar quality, the value on those would be around $680. Okay. Another great testimonial from Debbie. She says, I've taken a ton of training to rise above the pack and fight for the tippy top of my company. She's at the top rank of her comp plan. And I will hands down tell you, this is some of the best drilling and training that I've received. I'm so grateful to have committed at a time such as this. I didn't get started at the official starting point, and I was deflated about that and had a hard time getting motivated. But 3 days in, and I'm hooked, and I have plans of developing a habit that's going to help me be a world changer with these practices. The structure is so helpful, and I'm so thankful. How many of you guys are the kind of person that buys something like this, and then you're a weekend going, I haven't looked at it, I feel so far behind? It's okay. You can see that's what Debbie did, and she ended up doing great. And I will tell you guys something about Debbie. She, her sponsor was like the top person in her company. And when she saw what Debbie was doing with Teamsy, she was like, why are you doing that? That's not what we do. And she was like, I'm in conflict with my upline because she doesn't think we should be building relationships. She wants me going for no type thing. And I said, tell her just to watch your volume and give you a break. And so that worked because her volume was doing great, right? Here's some of the courses that we teach in bootcamp: how to follow up without being annoying. We go much deeper into this concept: how to leverage your social media to build trust. I may switch how you think about social media in this: how to get your current customers to bring you more. I break down this concept of getting introductions into a 13-step process, you guys, so you can't screw this up. How to move a great conversation to a share, how to meet new people, add them to your team. How many of you guys need to get some new people on the list? How to identify future leaders on your team. Also, some more of the things that we teach: how to share your business with someone, uncovering your why, managing your priorities within time, overcoming objections with heart, adopting the true heart of sales, and how to promote a new product launch. I obviously can't, I can't honestly tell you which one of these is my favorite. I think overcoming objections with heart, though, is one of my favorites, because overcoming objection training always feels manipulative to me. How about you guys? Have you ever felt that way? So you'll see this is a new take on how to do that, how to really help people through their objections. Okay. This all happens inside Teamsy CRM. Again, there's a quick shot of it there. Teamsy is mobile. It's on your desktop. Wherever you live is how you can work. But one of the things that this does, it helps you find every contact, customer, and conversation. It's all recorded for you. You'll be able to crush your power hour every day without thinking or planning. Teamsy is going to automatically tell you who you're supposed to reach out to in your power hour. It's got, I'll get to the scripts in a second, but it's got scripts that help you with what to say, right? And it tracks it all for you. Same thing with your follow-ups list. It's got your follow-up. Who's due today? Boom, send that message. Great, schedule the next one. You really can't mess this up. You'll be able to view and track your leads as you go, get your team motivated too. There's some great tools in there to help your team. You'll be able to see your performance as you go. The scripts library. So I just mentioned this. When I launched Teamsy 8 years ago, I would do trainings like this. People go, oh my gosh, Eric, it just rolls off your tongue. How do I talk like you? How do I do this? And so I said, you know what? Let's just put all of my basic scripts in Teamsy. There's over 100 scripts in here. Okay. And these are designed for messenger, text, any type of touch point, however you communicate with people. I've even got in-person scripts. I've got scripts for writing handwritten personal notes. If you write those to people, how to get started on that. These are a collection of conversation starters, staying in touch, follow-ups, reconnecting. These are not cheesy sales scripts. I don't do that. Just so you know. You can upload your own cheesy sales scripts into your Teamsy account if that's what you want. So we let you create your own and save them for later. You can put your own scripts in, or your amazing, brilliant scripts. I don't mean to say that you only have cheesy ones. I'm saying that you could have whatever script you have, you can put it in Teamsy. Okay. And again, this is a $99 value, having the scripts library in there for you. Part of this process is goal setting. How many of you have written goals structured out for 2023? Hopefully you guys do, but this is going to be a great training. So goal setting on steroids. If you guys are of my age or older, you get that reference. We said this a lot growing up in the 80s and 90s. On steroids just means big time. Okay, so there's 3 areas of goals we're going to help you set goals on. The first is your why, your emotional why. We're going to help you uncover that, okay? So that you can stay consistent in your business. We're going to help you visualize your BHAGs. That stands for big, hairy, audacious goal. Has anyone ever read the book Good to Great, From Good to Great? It talks about BHAGs in there. Big, hairy, audacious goals are goals so big, you honestly have no clue how you could ever achieve it. And your spouse probably giggle if you told them what it was, right? BHAGs are important because they're a process of visualizing big, dreaming big, but also it's rewiring our subconscious to expand our comfort zones. Does that make sense? And 80% of everything we do is subconscious. You guys have probably heard that. So if you're like, why can't I break through this? Or why can't I achieve this goal I set every year? It's because your subconscious mind is not having it. So we have to work on that. So BHAGs really help. We're going to help you create SMART goals. Have you guys ever heard of SMART goals? SMART goals are the goals that you're going to achieve this year or over the next couple of years. These are the goals that are achievable. We're going to start working towards, and we're going to help you create a personal business standard. There's another training, personal business standard. That is your daily minimum for your business. And it's different than like, I'm going to work in my business today to having a minimum standard. Does that make sense? Okay. How many of you have ever managed an employee, been in a position where you've had an employee that worked for you? Yeah. You have a minimum standard expectation of what they're going to do every day, right? And then we go into business for ourselves and nobody has set that standard for us. Right? How many of you really honestly, let's just be honest, you probably should have been fired by yourself by now. Right? So we're gonna now become the employees we want us to be. Live coaching calls. This is part of the boot camp. There's a picture there of my business partner and mentor, Mike Lopez. Amazing dude. We've worked together for 21 years. He was my boss for many years. And then we started Teamsy together. He's going to be part of this boot camp because he's a leadership expert. Leadership's a big part of this. Janet, would you agree? Mike is like amazing. Yeah, he's an amazing guy. He's like the other half of my brain. I'm like the crazy, what do you call it? The nutty professor. And he's like the just like really wise, kind of put together guy. He kind of keeps me grounded. But we're going to do live coaching calls together, 2 of them through the 6 weeks, you guys. This is going to be, he and I are professional coaches and consultants. We have another company called Modus Coaching and Consulting. So we do these, we're going to do 2 for this boot camp. You guys will have a chance to be live with us, ask us anything. We'll also usually take this opportunity to give a little mini trainings on things that we think might really help based on where the group is at, right? And we do Q&As. So this is like, for me, my favorite part of the whole thing are these live calls. And I was just telling him, we might have a bunch of people from Australia and New Zealand, so we have to think about the timing of these calls for this upcoming boot camp so that you guys could be on it live with us. We always record them though, just in case. Okay. And the value on that is about $2,000. That's about what we would charge for 2 calls like that with a client. What really makes this come alive, in my opinion, is the private mastermind group. So what we're going to do is we're going to not just, you're not just going to be on your own. We're going to have a private mastermind group where we all connect together, everyone in the boot camp. You're going to be able to share your best practices, new ideas, awesome results, seek advice from each other, get to know new people, right? Get to know some new people. We're going to post a daily tip in this group every single day, something inspiring and motivational. We want you to comment once a day on this tip. This is your accountability to us that you're doing your work. We want you guys to go, yeah, this is great. I watched the training. I did my power hour today. I did all the action steps for today. We'd like to see screenshots of your Teamsy dashboard showing us that you closed those circles on the Teamsy dashboard. So this is a huge accountability thing. And it's fun because you'll see people posting. You'll know what kind of numbers they're doing, right? So it brings a lot of energy to the group. We're going to encourage you to get a success partner or partners to work on this together. So you'll see we'll be in there. We'll teach you. We'll tell you guys how to do the post saying, I'm looking for a partner. Groups of 3 are great too. So you can have more than one. Your partners to help you through this, hold you accountable. I want you guys messaging your partner every day for 6 weeks. Okay. And you send them that screenshot of Teamsy done. You're going to be the most annoying person in the world to your partner if they haven't done their Teamsy yet today. Right. Which is good. It's a positive annoyance. It's called accountability. Okay. There's my definition for accountability, positive annoyance. You'll also have access to me in the group. I'll be there with you. So I'm there. If you have questions, boom, I'll answer them. Mike too. We'll both be in the group. Okay. So we'll both be in there. For the whole time you're in boot camp, you can ask us anything. We're there. Okay. So, this system, the Teamsy bootcamp system, this is what I wish I had when I started out. Oh my gosh, it would have been so great to just have this to plug into. Would have saved me time, would have made me a lot more money for sure. And I just want you guys to know, if you guys sign up for bootcamp tonight, I know I'm not really doing this as a webinar, but these are my slides. But if you do it tonight, I am going to give you a bonus. We actually opened bootcamp up for registration last Monday. So this was a special time that worked for us to get in here and talk to you guys. So I'm reopening this offer for tonight. If you guys do want to do bootcamp and want to sign up today, I'm going to throw in something extra, which is a bonus Q&A Zoom session with Mike and I. Okay, so an extra one. We do this one. It'll be this week sometime. Yeah, I think it'll be this week sometime. We'll do it. I think we're aiming for the 6th, which would be the 7th, for y'all. So this is going to be a special session on how to get the most out of this program. We're going to give you guys some tips on that. It's also a great place to ask questions ahead of time, right? We can get into the nitty gritty of anything that you guys want, but you'll be able to learn directly from us, founders of Teamsy, and just ask us anything. So you get that additional live coaching session. If you guys have been thinking about this and you just wanted to see the presentation tonight and you're excited, you'll definitely want to do it tonight so we can get you this extra program. Might as well take advantage of it. So again, going through everything again that you're getting with bootcamp, there's the 6-week training course. There's the advanced goal setting courses, the scripts library, the live coaching calls, the private Facebook group. And then if you jump on it right now, you also get that bonus live Q&A with Mike and I. If you stack up all the value for all these individually, you're over $5,000 in value, right? And we're only going to charge you guys $3,500. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We're going to present it for $197 US. Okay, so all the dollar numbers are USD, just so you guys know. So $197 US, you guys, very reasonable. We actually repriced this program for COVID, and we didn't raise it back, right? So this is very reasonable. But again, you get it all, 6-week training course. You're going to be using Teamsy CRM, the Power Hour. You're doing the goal trainings, the scripts library, the coaching calls, Facebook group, all of it for $197. Okay, for $197. Okay, so here's the link. Super easy, teamsy.com/bootcamp. If you've never ever done Teamsy, that's fine. You can start it all up right here. Okay, teamsy.com/bootcamp. Registration, we just extended registration. It was supposed to close today. I extended it for you guys through next Monday. Okay, we actually start Monday the 10th. So this week right now is what we call prep week. So when you get in there, you're going to see people are in there from the States that are signed up, that are now getting set up, looking for success partners, doing their goals trainings, getting all their ducks in a row for next Monday. Okay, so just so you guys know, the registration, I've extended it just for you guys through next Monday, but we start on Monday. So don't wait, because I want you to have ample time to get your Teamsy set up. If you need help with that, my staff will do it. Like, we'll literally do it for you. Okay, like you can get on a live Zoom screen share with my staff. They'll set it up for you, but you need time to get that set up. Okay, all right. More than 3,000 bootcamp graduates so far. Average results, just so you guys have a little idea, 12 recruits, 16 customers over 60 days. Okay, 12 recruits and 16 customers over 60 days. Each bootcamp is refined and improved based on the feedback of the previous group. So we just constantly make it better. Here's a great testimonial from Jill. She says, after 7 years in the business, I'd gotten to the point of feeling overwhelmed and frustrated with the go for no approach using typical prospecting language. The Teamsy Bootcamp has reawakened my ability to develop new and rekindle old prospects, helping me fill my funnel and enrolling new customers and business partners. I would highly recommend this bootcamp to anyone seriously committed to growing their business and leading their team to do the same. I was initially concerned about not having enough time for a 12-week training. We condensed it, by the way, 6 weeks. But soon realized it wasn't something extra to do. It's exactly the income producing daily activity I needed to be doing anyway, which is a great point, you guys. This isn't a lot of time. It's an hour a day. Okay. I can't wait to share what I've learned with my team. Will highly recommend they invest in themselves and their businesses using Teamsy. This is a great one too. This is actually, I don't know if you guys know Jane. Probably not, but she's in Australia. She says, guess when I started Teamsy Bootcamp? I've not had one day go by to not make a sale for my Power Hour. It's almost becoming a running joke with my husband. You can see this is one of her charts in her Teamsy account that she's snapped here. I truly believe people feel loved when you follow up. Until bootcamp, many of my leads from November and December had not followed up. And when I did this month's sales, yeah, fortune is in the follow-up. See, she didn't have a system for following up, right? That was watertight. That's the main thing. She'd been talking to people and doing the right things, had been in the business for years. It was the fact that you follow up a couple of times and you lose track of somebody, right? And now she had a system. So getting here to the end, I'm gonna open this up for questions. If you guys have questions, I see there's some things in the chat. I haven't looked at that yet. But just so you guys know, boot camp is my passion project. I love doing boot camp. And I want to help you consistently generate leads and make sales in your business. I want to give you the tools to make you successful over these 6 weeks, help you become a true leader to your team. So I just want to make a commitment to you. If you show up, I'll give you 100% of my heart and experience. You've got to show up though. Does that make sense? And we'll leave it on the field together. So again, everything that's included, $197. That's not a disappears today price. I'm not that kind of guy. I open registration all the way through next Monday. It's going to be the same price every single day for that whole time. Okay. Your impetus for getting signed up tonight is so you have time to get set up and so you can get that extra one-on-one training with Mike and I. Okay. So again, here's the link, teamsy.com/bootcamp. You guys got that? teamsy.com/bootcamp. Okay. And so you've got a couple of choices. Do nothing. Don't take a leap of faith. That's easy, right? It's risk-free. Or you invest a small amount in yourself compared to the amount of value you're getting in return and give it a shot. So I think I've got a few more slides, but we're just going to stop now. We'll just stop now and get to Q&A. But I truly want to invite you guys. We'd love to have you in our bootcamp. Hopefully it was interesting and we'd love to see you. So what I want to do now is open it up for questions. You can ask about anything you want. Feel free to just unmute and ask away.
I don't have a question, but that was amazing. Like, thank you so much. I'm actually on signing up right now. But yeah, I really loved what you were sharing. And I think, you know, for myself, like I do love on people, but I do get to that point where it's like, am I being annoying? Or, you know, oh, it's just, you know, not worth it. And it's like, you know, you have this big heart, but then you feel, yeah, you just get the junk in your mind. So I just want to thank you so much for that, like clarity that we are doing what we're doing because we love people. We've got beautiful big hearts and we're not bothering them and they need to be loved on. And like you're saying, like they want to know that we actually care. And that's what all this is about. And that, yeah. So, yeah, thank you so much. I'm signing up right now. I'm really grateful.
Awesome. This is going to be great.
Eric, I've been using Teamsy for probably about 6 months. Well, I was really full into it first, and then I've sort of have not stayed accountable. When you talk about moving people to the follow-up stage, is that when they're actually asking for information or when you're actually going to that business talk or product talk?
Great question. So the intention of the follow-ups is that's your pipeline. That's the people who are very interested. In a perfect world, it's after you've shared with them, they go on the follow-ups list, right? So if you and I are just chatting, we're having a nice chat and they're like, yeah, I'd like to learn more, you know, and again, this is something we do teach in the bootcamp. Like the goal is, and you guys are all seasoned professionals, so you know this, the goal is now to have a real meeting, right? Face-to-face if possible, voice-to-voice, or like a Zoom, you know, if that's all we can do. But we want to actually get off chat and have a conversation with them and really ask them questions, get to know them, see what they need. And so that's the share, you know, that's what a share is typically like, right? It's going to be a Zoom, a phone conversation, face-to-face. So that's when you now move them to the follow-ups list. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Sorry, I was doing follow-ups for each client that I was just connecting with. So I just...
Yeah, so you've gunked up your follow-up list now, and it's huge, probably. So this is important. You guys, we didn't go through Teamsy, but for those of you guys that are signing up looking at Teamsy, Teamsy cycles people through the 3 lists automatically every day. Here, let me actually, I have it logged in. Let me share it with you. So here's my Teamsy dashboard. This is the Arbonne custom version. So Teamsy is going to cycle people through these lists, prospects, customers, and consultants. So you can see here, it cycles them through. And this is based on their star rating. So Janet's a 5-star person, but if she was a 3-star person, right, I would just change it. So 5-star people come back every 30 days on these lists. 4 stars every 60 days, 3 stars every 90 days, 2 stars every 120 days. Don't worry, you don't have to memorize those. But the higher their ranking, the more often they come up. They automatically cycle. So if I message Janet and she doesn't respond, I don't need to put her on my follow-ups list. She'll come back on this list in 30 days. The follow-ups list is for the people that I'm really pursuing a business opportunity with. Maybe I've shared with them. When I put them on that follow-ups list, it's for a specific date, like, oh, I want to message them next Friday, right? So the follow-ups list, if you say, oh, Janet, how are you? Hope your day is awesome. She doesn't respond. And then you set a follow-up for next week. If you do that every time you message people, you're going to have 10,000 people on your follow-ups list. And they're not actually people interested in anything. Does that make sense? They're actually people that were so uninterested, they didn't respond to hello. So we don't want them on our follow-ups list. We want to keep building those relationships with them. So the follow-ups list we're going to keep for like real solid leads that we've shared with, if that makes sense. Now, I'm going to share with you, Nat, a tool to clear that follow-ups list. So for when you get in the situation, if you go over here to team and you click on tools right there, you're going to grab follow-up contacts. And you'll see, in your case, you'll see lots of follow-ups. And you can actually click on remove all follow-ups and it'll clear everyone off that list all at once, puts them back into the regular flow, and you can start fresh. Cool? Yeah. All right. Any other questions, guys? Someone's asking Teamsy price. Yes, Teamsy's $30 a month. However, we have a special for Arbonne right now, so you guys can lock it in for $19.95 a month. That's US dollars, of course, but that's a third off, which is a pretty sweet deal. For those of you who fall in love with Teamsy, you can do 12 months at a time, save more, right? I will tell you this. This isn't we're not one of those people that makes it hard to leave. Like if you don't like us, you can leave, no big deal. There's actually a button, you can cancel it yourself inside your account without even talking to us. Okay. So, so I don't want you guys to be pressured by that. However, I'd love for you to like really give it a go. Don't put your toe in the water, dive in, right? Dive in. And if you do boot camp, it's a great way, like, Nat's telling us, well, I've been using it. I haven't been that consistent. Like this is a great opportunity for you, Nat, to get really, really engaged with it, right? Have some support, have a community around you. And if you can really get consistent doing this for 6 weeks, you're going to be rocking. You're going to be rocking. I mean, I don't know how well you guys know Janet. She and I have been Facebook friends for a long time, but we had our first conversation about 2 months ago. And I will tell you guys, I see a difference. I know she's popped off the call while we're talking about her. And she messages me all the time. I'm obsessed with this training. It's really given her a new light. And I think it's just a different approach. It's just fresh, right? It's more congruent with who she is. If any of that has resonated with you guys, maybe you're feeling the same thing. Like this is more congruent with who I am. I think I could do this more, right? So I encourage you guys, like jump in. It's not a lot of money, right? I mean, you can spend that much going out to dinner. Get in there and, this will be a great time for you guys to really get focused. But for those of you guys who've never used a program like this, I really want you guys to jump on it quickly, like I said, so we can make sure we get you set up by Monday. Does that are you with me? So I think setting it up is kind of like moving into your dream home. When you move, how many of you guys have moved into a new home in the past few years? So like when you move into your new home, it's like, I'm excited about this new home, but everything's in boxes, right? I need to get unpacked. And the first room you should unpack is your kitchen, because that's where you need to get cooking. So this is like unpacking your kitchen. Once you get it everything put away, you're ready to cook every day. Does that make sense? Okay. Any other thoughts or questions while you've got me here? I know I went really long tonight. I apologize for going long. Thank you guys for hanging in there so much. I guess it was good, but yeah, I think I kind of got carried away a little bit here and there. All right, you guys. Great. If there's no further questions, we'll stop the recording. Hopefully, we'll see you guys in boot camp. I'm easy to find. You guys can find me on Facebook if you want to message me if you have further questions. But thank you for showing up tonight or today. God bless you guys. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Eric. Cheers.
Take care.
Bye.